Our next speaker is a distinguished Toastmaster and a qualified speaker with District 12 Speakers Bureau. She is also a professional speaker with her sights set on educating the sighted and the non-sighted world about living with disabilities and much more. Her 5 to 7 minute speech is titled See Me. Please help me welcome Miss Suzanne Allee. Suzanne, go ahead.
Have you ever wondered how you would communicate with a person who happens to be blind? I have. Why? Because I happen to be blind. There's no secret to communicating with people who are blind. Just like you, we want to be treated like everybody else, with kindness and respect. So the next time you're in the presence of a blind person, just be respectful of the fact that you can see and we cannot. I was born with hydrocephalus, a condition that causes intracranial pressure to build up in the cranium. This intracranial pressure caused me to be blind in the right eye and functional sight in the left eye. As a child, I was very active. I played kickball and soccer and dodgeball, jumped rope, skipped, and did all those fun things that those of us can remember doing as kids. It was great. When I became a teenager, however, I began experiencing excruciating headaches. And if you've ever had a migraine or know someone who's ever had a migraine, with a migraine, you can sit in a dark room and it will go away in time. Nowadays, they have medication that will help with those headaches. Someone with hydrocephalus, however, requires surgery. That is the only way to get rid of the headache. And over my life, well, within the first 25 years of my life, I endured over 100 neurosurgeries. It was terrible. The headaches just continued on, and I missed out on a lot in my life. And as a result of those intracranial pressure headaches and the surgeries, my precious eyesight declined significantly. I now walk using a white cane, a screen reader on my computer, and I read Braille. Earlier, I asked you this question. Have you ever wondered how you would communicate with a person who happens to be blind? Now, I will give you a few hot tips that will help your next communication with someone who is blind easier and more comfortable for both of you. Tip number 1, don't shy away. Don't shy away of saying hi to a blind friend, colleague, or classmate because you think it might confuse us. Why? Because we want to be treated like everyone else. Saying something such as, "Hey, Suzanne, it's Morris. How are you today?" Do you see what I mean? Tip number 2, tone of voice. Never use a tone of voice or wording that is condescending, such as, "Oh, you poor dear, you are so very brave." Avoid from phrases such as, "She's pretty," for a blind girl. One day I was attending a workshop. When the presenter handed me the agenda, he said to me, "Too bad you can't read it." Do you see what I mean? Tip number 3, inclusion versus exclusion. Let me share with you what I mean about that. I have a dear friend, Anna, who has other disabilities besides blindness. We attended a guide dog school together several years ago. She came to me one day and she said, Suzanne, I'm so upset. She said, nobody ever asks me to participate in the activities. In fact, they don't talk to me. They don't say anything to me. I didn't know what to say to that.
Green.
This is important because a person's feelings are involved, and it's better to be included rather than excluded. Do you see what I mean? Also, when giving directions, be verbally descriptive. Paint a picture so we can see what you're talking about. Pointing and gesturing have little meaning for people who are blind or visually impaired. Saying it's the third door on the left when exiting the elevator, it's much more helpful. Don't be afraid to use phrases such as, see you tomorrow, look at this, or watch out. These are phrases we all use. Blind folks use these phrases too. And the next time someone who's blind asks you what just happened, tell them and move on. If you see someone who may need help, a blind person who may need help, ask first. It's jarring to be grabbed, especially when the person who's being grabbed is blind and can't see. I want you to remember a little kindness and respect will go a long way toward comfort, kindness, and respect, and goodwill for all. With your understanding, you don't have to be on guard 100% of the time. Just being respectful is enough. Now, I know that you see what I mean, Mr. Toastmaster.